Okay, can we just deal with the sage issue? So I'm not quite sure why sage has become such a battleground within Christianity and within spirituality in our country, but for some reason it has. I was watching a video the other day and the woman said, here is how you turn your spiritual process into a Christian one. And one of the first things she said was, stop burning sage because that invites the demons in. And I began to laugh because there's two things that are really core to understanding that seem to contradict with Christianity, right? The first one is that sage itself, if you just Google it, let's go to your Google search and say, what is sage? What you'll find is that it's a plant. It's a natural plant that just grows. And so for me, the idea that the plant itself is a bad thing means that when God created sage, when God created the plant sage, there was something wrong with it. But we know that when God finished creating everything, he said it's good. And so if sage is a plant that God created, then there can't be anything wrong with sage by itself. And so there you have the first issue, right? Simply having sage can invite demons in because it's a good thing created by God. And so if your idea is that demons are against God, then why would he create something that would invite demons in to work against him? So that's the first thing I have. But let's deal with it on a different way. If you look and you find out what is sage used for most often, the thing that you find it used for most often, it's described as an incense. And that's when things get really interesting, because the use of incense in terms of spirituality, especially in the worship of the Christian God and the Judaic God, actually is an ancient practice. As far back as Exodus, they were told to burn incense in the temple for 24 hours a day. It was supposed to be a way to represent prayers constantly being offered to God. And so incense was burned in the temple 24 hours a day, all the time. And then, in case you say, well, that's an Old Testament thing, I say, well, let's look at Luke chapter 1, where you actually find Zechariah actually still burning incense even in the time of Jesus' birth. And so here we have it saying that the burning of incense as a way to worship the God of the Bible has been around since Exodus chapter 20, all the way till we find it in the New Testament. And so for me, the idea that simply burning an incense is somehow doing something that God doesn't want seems silly. We know that incense has been used to worship the God of the Bible for generations. And so for any reason, if somebody's number one telling you don't use your sage because it's demonic, I would say, hey, how is using an incense demonic? And if you're saying, you know what, I'm not sure if I can use sage, I think I'd like to, but I'm not sure, I would say, use it. We know that the Bible has showed us that you can burn incense as a way of worshiping the God of the Bible, and he has no problems with it. So thanks for tuning in. I hope this was helpful, and I really hope that you enjoy some of the other ideas and contents that we have on our Untangled page.